Act like you got us skate. 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 Start for the jet, let's go. Pull off with you. Slide ding, ride ding, dad ding. Moving with you, drop it with you. Time about the green light, let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Kane Nation, man? Happy Father's Day. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good, so we can get this thing rocking and rolling. Let me see here, man. What's good with everybody? Like I said, let me make sure everything looks good, sounds good, and we're going to definitely get this thing rocking and rolling. Waiting for a couple of thumbs up so we can get this thing going. See a couple of people already in the chat. OG Kane, I appreciate you for hitting me up. Tell my coach, I need you to break this down. Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. We're about to break down the Shannon Dawson interview that he had with Josh Pate. And again, an excellent, excellent interview. You know, that's my cup of tea. That's what I like to do. I love to break down film and look at film and see how things work and how people think. And let me tell you this. I'm not a person who puts the cart before the horse. But I have to say this. I never really had an opinion about Shannon Dawson. Have to be very honest. Didn't really have an opinion about Shannon Dawson. Because I didn't know him. I don't know his work. I don't know what he's doing. But after watching this interview, I'm feeling good about it, right? At the end of the day, we still know that we have to do what? We have to be able to put production on the field at the end of the day. We all know that. We know that's what it's all about. And so that's where we are right now. I'm making some adjustments here, guys. Give me 1 second. Been a lot going on today, baby. A lot going on today. But anyway, like I said, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to break this down. Let me know everything does look good and sound good as I bring in this audio and this video. And we're going to make it happen. As also, some people gave me some shout outs and some love, and I appreciate it. Yesterday, we talked about the quarterback. I know this is Hurricanes, but, you know, we do all things here. But anyway, we talked about the quarterback from that was committed to Florida. And he is flipped his commitment on the show live to Ole Miss. So I appreciate everybody that gave out some love in response to that. So I thank you guys for that. And I really do. It really means a lot. Trying to make this channel grow and make it happen. Trying to fix some of these settings here, guys. Excuse me 1 second. And ladies. All right. Can't forget my man here. All right. Here we go. All right. I got it all set. Anyway, great Father's Day today. We're going to make things happen. We're going to make it work. I need to know what Father's Day gifts did you guys get? Do we get shamed on Father's Day? Do we get looked over? We get a little, you know, the half-cooked breakfast from the kids, the eggs all runny, pancakes ain't done all the way through, bacon still raw. Let me know what you guys got when it comes to your Father's Day gifts. If you don't mind putting it in the chat, it'd be great. But anyway, Coach Dixon in the building. What's up with you, man? Ain't seen Coach and talk to Coach in a minute, man. How you doing, brother? All right, here we go. The producer in the building, LMV, say happy Father's Day to everybody. I'm loving it. All right, here we go. Let's do this and let's talk about this a little bit. And let's make this thing happen. Hopefully I can make it happen. Happy Father's Day from Paco Trio 5 in the building. I don't know how to say this name. Yasaka LG, I guess don't let us get JoJo traded on campus. If we do, I don't know Hurricanes. He might be in Columbus. Oh, wow. That's big breaking news right there in the building. All right. 863 Kane. Look at Daryl Page. I got some Pootie Tang pocket. Yeah, you had to wait all the way to Father's Day? Hey, man. It is what it is, I guess. Real quick, man. Let me give a shout out here to Truth Seeker for the 189. Says, love the channel. Go Gators. I love you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get this thing rocking. Well, I got a 5-star weed eater. Oh, man, IMAX in the building. What's up with you? All right, Derek Lund says, I'm not a dad, so I don't have to be disappointed. Now, you a dad to some people out there. Trust me, man. I know you are. All right. A new fishing shirt and snacks. I'm telling you, man, them Father's Day gifts be thin, boy. They are thin. But let me get back to the topic at hand, having a good time. Hopefully your wives will leave you alone. You don't have to work on the honeydew list, and you can sit and watch Coach Hayes. I'm not sure if Flo and the boys coming on later, but you can make a great afternoon and evening out of this deal. But let me get back to Shannon Dawson in the building. Shannon Dawson, offensive coordinator, as we know, coming from Houston. And if you guys have not seen the Josh Pate interview he did, let me tell you, man, I really enjoyed listening to it. I love listening to the philosophy. I love listening to, talking about some scheme, talking about things he's responsible for and so forth and so on. But again, that's just talk. You know what Coach want? Coach want that action. I need that action. As I got to give a shout out to JT Money, Poison Clan. I need action. Oh, he said Flo is coming on tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I need that action, man. So let's make it happen. So anyway, I'm going to talk about this. Gotta move the screen over. Everything is not easy. I know this will get copyright because of the video that I'll be using. So 247, if you're out there, Josh Pate, come on, man. I'm giving you love, man. Don't copyright my tape, man. Don't copyright it, man. Help Coach out on Father's Day, man. They be copyrighting this stuff, man. But anyway, I'm going to play the video simply because there's some video elements to this. It's not just conversation like it was with Mario Cristobal and Josh Pate. There's a video component where he's breaking down film. So I'll be playing that. In the very first part of this, as I looked at this tape, and again, it's really, I almost want to play the whole thing, I would be very honest, but I'll pull some clips and pieces out of it to make it happen. So let me go ahead and get into this film breakdown piece here. And you have to let me know if you guys can hear this as well. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear it as well. But anyhow, we'll play this and we'll make this happen. So here is, in this section right here, he's talking about installing a new offense and TVD in the program. So let's listen to this quickly. Like I said, let me get a thumbs up so I know it sounds good and you guys can really hear it.
You're bringing in an offense that's, I would say, pretty different than what they ran here last year. And I'm going to leave that up to you to explain. And we're going to talk about Tyler Van Dyke in a second. But you're talking about coming here and trying to install in the spring. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult would you say it is to install, from a player's perspective, what you want to run?
I don't think it's very difficult. I mean, I think that you always, when something new comes in, you start from a clean slate. You start from day one and then you build, right? I think, I don't know how other people do it, to be honest with you. You watch football, and from the naked eye, a lot of it looks similar. In my opinion, the difference is how you program the quarterback, like the clarity in which you program the quarterback, right? And so I think there's times when quarterbacks are very cloudy in between their ears, it shows up on the field. And that's really my job. It's my job overall is to get Tyler to where he understands things like I understand things. Because if it doesn't make sense to him, then it doesn't matter what I know or what I don't know. And so I'm just trying to program his mind to where he can execute our offense and he knows exactly what we want to do. And to do that, I think it's got to be pretty simple on our end, right? And to look complex on the other side, but to be simple on our end is the key.
We're going to zoom in on Tyler Van Dyke here for a second. You said, as most people would, you were aware of.
All right, trying to get this together. Very interesting point right there. He talked about installing a new offense and making stuff simple. And I thought that was huge. I thought he was talking, like the very last piece, when you talk about making things simple. I tell you, I've been around a lot of coaches, been doing this for a long time. And I see so many coaches try to make stuff so complex because I feel like sometimes they have something to prove. They got to prove that, they're worth the $1.5 million they're making as a coordinator. And they're working this, but believe it or not, the only thing you got to prove is that you can move the ball, continuously move the chains, and guess what? Score touchdowns. Score touchdowns. That's really all football is. Do you think a fan truly cares how complex it is? The only people that know how complex it is are the people that's actually running it. Out of 100,000 people in the stadium, hopefully we'll get there one day, but when you go to some of these major college programs, there's 100,000 people out there. 99,999 people have no idea if it's complex or simple. They care if it moves the sticks. That's what it's all about. And that's huge right there. That's very important as you look at what he's talking about. In this next piece, he's going to bring up something very, very instrumental. And I've talked about this a lot. I talked about this part when Coach Cristobal was looking for coordinators, right? And I said this before, even with the Josh Gaddis hire, how, it took a long time. And the reason I'm bringing this up to past conversations is because about what he's about to say next. I know when you hire coordinators, you got to get them in the building as quick as possible because there's so much learning that has to take place. You don't have to take 2, 3, 4 months. I've been critical about the hiring process for the University of Miami. It takes us a very long time to get that. And he's going to actually validate what I'm saying here in his next comments. This is important when you're hiring coordinators. If any coaches out there, hiring your coordinators, you got to hire the right guy. I'm not saying you should rush a guy and just to hire a coordinator, hire one. But at this level, you got to make a short list really quick, especially if you know you're getting a job and it's whispers. Because think about it, by the time we get the whispers, it has already been in the works for that coach. So he knows that, hey, it's a potential that I might get this job at the University of Miami, Oregon, whatever. Create a short list and start working it now, right? You don't get the job like you just popped up. You don't fill out something on monsterjobs.com and you don't fill out applications, okay? So I want to make sure I just went through and talked about that. All right, here we are right here. Let's talk about this piece.
Which is redundant, but it is what it is. So how long does it take with a guy who's got some maturity about him? He's been here a couple of years. Right. How long does it take before you start feeling like you're not drinking from a fire hose anymore? You're starting to grasp it. We're starting to feel that between plays like we know we need to.
It takes, especially in my situation when I get here and everything is so compact. Like we got to get ready for spring practice right now, right? So it wasn't we didn't have a honeymoon period where we had some time to over the Christmas holidays to kind of hang out and get that done before we went to football. It was football, everything right now, which I will say, having a kid like.
So real quick, you heard what he said. When I got here, it was compact. It was right now. We didn't have a Christmas break to kind of, fill each other out, talk about concepts, whatever. As soon as I got here, we had to throw this stuff in and make it happen. Now he's going to talk about Tyler Van Dyke's football IQ, and it kind of made it easier for him. But I'll go back and say this. If Tyler Van Dyke has a great football IQ and you gave him even more time with the offensive coordinator, how much more could he have picked up and learned, right? So that's where I think, like I say, hiring coordinators in a timely manner makes a difference, all right?
Like Tyler, that has a very high IQ, very high capacity, it made it a lot easier. If you were dealing with a guy that didn't have the experience he had, didn't have the overall understanding of offensive football, we probably would have got less done in the spring than we got done.
All right, so we've got some stuff queued up from the spring game.
All right. So, again, that's what he talked about. He talked about that part. He talked about, Tyler having a very high football IQ. But, again, football IQ doesn't mean production on the field. Let's make that very clear. A lot of people get that misunderstood. It's a big component of being productive on the football field. But if you don't have if you have a very high football IQ, doesn't necessarily mean you can do what? You can perform on the field. Let me skip over here to the next section where he's going to break down the video portion here. It's 3rd and 14. TVD is going to scramble a little bit, and we're going to talk about this. I want to break this down, but I want you guys to see and understand in this video footage, and I have some critical points about this, but we can do that. Coach Hayes, can you pin the link? Yes, I'll pin the link. I'll pin it, Ellen. All right.
That are important for an offense like yours. Mm-hmm. What I'd love for you to do is to treat me like a 5th grader, and I'd love for you to walk me through some of what you saw from him in spring.
Okay. Treating you like a 5th grader is easy. All right, so right here, this is something, I'm glad this clip's first right here because People ask me this question about him a lot, and obviously the last quarterback I had was Clayton Tune at Houston, and good athlete, right? A better athlete than people even give him credit for, to be quite honest with you. But this right here is key in college football today because D lines are so good, they're going to get back there. Now most of the time, I'm trying to get the ball out within 2 seconds. Like our passing game is very rhythmic, right? Now, there are times that we got to push it down the field. This is 3rd and 14 right here. So we need some time right here. It's crucial that when things break down like they do right here, he doesn't necessarily have time to hit this window. But to have the ability to do this in this situation when it's 3rd and 14 on the 35-yard line, that kept us in field goal range. And so taking a sack right here is detrimental. We lose points, we lose everything. So being able to spin out and just have that ability to get 10 yards, get out of bounds, and give me a chance on 4th and 2. Maybe we go for it. We definitely have the chance to get in field goal range right here. I talked to Tune.
Okay, so again, he's talking about Tyler Van Dyke having the ability to get out the pocket when things break down and keep giving him an opportunity, making it 4th and 2, maybe 4th and 5, so forth on there. And here's the second piece I want to play of this where he's going to actually break down this footage. I have some criticisms about it, but I understand clearly why he said it. You're only going to be on, you can't call this national television, but a widely streaming show or YouTube or whatever. I don't even know what the heck it's called now. But anyhow, that's where it is. He's going to talk about him having a bad call, like the play was a bad call and kind of being conservative. Should have been more conservative. And that's where I have a little bit of pushback. But again, that's just me breaking it down, being very, being critical, right? Giving a constructive criticism to this situation.
Out there, this play is not going to show up.
No.
And it doesn't boost Tyler Van Dyke from a statistical profile. That's why I've always been curious when you're breaking him down and you've got your own internal metrics. How do you account for the fact that this dude just picked up 35 yards really here? Yeah. He didn't pick up 10 yards, he picked up 35 because there's an A-B scenario.
That's right.
How when you break a guy down, and let's say you had a really, really heated quarterback battle, how are you accounting for that? Or is it just burned in your memory that I know that guy has that, I don't need the piece of paper to tell me?
Well, the more times you bail me out, the more I love you. It's simple, so
all coaches
this
think
right
like that.
Here, honestly, let's talk about this like in reality, right? This is not a very good play call right here. This is a poor play call by me because we're in field goal range, right? Now, if I'm going to do anything right here on 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13, it should be with the sense of getting half of it back and not even giving us a chance to have a negative play right here because I know a negative play takes us out of points. So really right here, I need to be more conservative than this, but I talk to these quarterbacks all the time about being my barometer, okay?
Now, here's where I have an issue. It's 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14. And he says, I should have been more conservative to try to get half of it back. You in the go zone, bro. You're in the go zone, right? We remember Florida State. Florida State, 3rd and 14. Manny Diaz era. Did they try to get half of it back? No, that ball struck 14 plus yards. Okay? I'm going to also disagree with him calling it a bad call. Now, what I love with it, why he called it a bad call, because he put all the onus on himself. And as a coach, that's what you should do. But I'm looking at this behind the curtain. Understand what I'm saying? I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm talking about as if we were in the coach's office, not these PC, interviews and so forth and so on. Okay? I'm talking about if we're in the coach's office, this is not necessarily a bad call. I'm going to show you where the bad play happens, okay? But he doesn't out the people and so forth. He should not do that. I want to be very clear when I say that. He should not do that. He did exactly what he's supposed to do, right? He didn't push this off on anybody else.
So, hey, there's going to be times where I really push the envelope on trying to gain more grass and push the ball down the field. You have to be my barometer of, hey, when something's bad, I mean, even if he got back to the line of scrimmage right here, that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? And so my fault right here, bad football call by me. But Tyler Van Dyke, you bailed me out. I appreciate that. But bad football call by saying. And so
now let me explain why this is not a bad call. It's bad blocking up front between the center and guard, right? Between 55 and 77. But it's not a bad call because it's literally open right here. You guys can see it on my screen. Watch this. I just want to be clear with this. This ball is out. It's open. It's not a bad call. Right at the sticks, clear outs, right? He's not going to make a play on this. If Tyler Van Dyke can drive that ball in there, you get this, you're at the sticks. So, again, I'm talking from the coach's office, not the politically correct deal. Not a bad call. The bad play happens here. Here is where the bad play happens. Right between the center and guard. Let's go back and look at it. They're going to stunt across here. Ruben Bain's going to come right up the gut. 77 is too engaged. Look at this. He's too engaged.
When something's
and Ruben Bain comes around like the monster he is, and it forces Tyler Van Dyke to make a play. I get it. But at 3rd and 14, you got to be able to hold the blocks a little longer so these guys can get down the field. But 7 clears it out, comes right up underneath the dig.
I mean, even if he got back to the line of scrimmage right here, that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, my fault.
That's open, man. That's super open. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. I just want to say that. I'm going to let the rest of this play a little bit.
Right here, bad football call by me. But Tyler Van Dyke, you bailed me out. I appreciate that, brother. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so that's 1 gold star for Tyler Van Dyke here from the spring game. I'm really interested.
Great
you got
job
a different
by
angle here. What do you see from this?
Here we go. I can show it closely. 77. I need his name in the chat, please. That's Matt Lee at center, 77. I don't know his name. He's going to take this guy, go all the way across his face, and you're going to see Ruben Bain come in here. Like I said, not a bad call. Just bad blocking. They missed a stun assignment, so forth and so on.
Same thing, really. I mean, being able to feel that, right?
They should have been able to pass that off. Look at 77. It's too late now. He's gone.
I mean, 44 is a really good pass rusher. But right here, our route isn't developed yet. We're trying to hit this window right here. And defensively on 3rd down, they're going to create some twists and stuff to get a guy free. And so the clock in his head, it went off, right? He sees color, it went off. Look, that's awesome. Now, if that guy was like about to tackle him, I would say you need to throw that ball out of bounds. Right?
Correct.
But the fact that he didn't feel anybody threatening him, hey, go get what you can get. Get what you can get and get out of bounds. Now I'm dealing with a 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I love that. Now Coach Cristobal can give me the thumbs up to go for it, or he can say, hey, let's take the 3, depending on what he wants to do as a head coach. But at least he gave me the option. You know, if he gets sacked right here, Coach Cristobal is probably saying something completely different.
Probably in your
I want to go back and show you guys something really quick too. When we talk about the difference between good quarterback
count for the when
and
you're
not.
breaking him down.
Let me do this because I'm skipping all over the place. Let me just tighten up, Hayes. Let me tighten this up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay. There's also a part, I broke this down when I did the spring game, and I talked about this. And I talked about the difference between good and great quarterbacks. Good and great. Here's the deal here. You're going to see this play. Let me mute this right quick so you don't have to hear it. Great spin out right here by Tyler Van Dyke. Nigel Kelly kind of blows it too tight. I want to show you something. Love this scramble drill right here. I believe that's Kobe Young. Quarterback's in trouble. Watch this. Tyler Van Dyke has made up his mind already. He's running for it. Remember, it's 3rd and 14. And I know he's right-handed. If he's running vertical, remember this, he has to get to right here, which is about maybe the 26-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage. Can't throw the ball beyond that. But he's got plenty of space. Look at this gentleman wide open right here. And that's the difference between good and great. Good and great. Because he's looking downfield. He's not going to make it. He has the angle on him, right? And he knows his own speed. He needs to get this ball out, and now this is an easy touchdown. Look at this. Nobody's here. Still hasn't passed the line of scrimmage. Still hasn't passed the line of scrimmage. Now he's just passed it. He can't throw it. He's got to make his mind up and run the ball. I just wanted to kind of put that out there in that sense. Okay? I thought that was interesting. I think Shannon Dawson did an excellent job protecting his players. He did an excellent job being positive with his players, but I guarantee in the film room, he tore some behind that. You understand? He tore some behind that. Appreciate you guys. We got 170 in the building. Come check us out. We're just breaking down the Shannon Dawson interview he did with Josh Pate, if you're just joining us here on with Coach Hayes here on Canes Talk Live. 121, episode 121, 2 actually. I got that wrong in the chat. I got to put it up there. But anyway, let's go here to the next section up in this deal. And I thought this was really important too. When Josh Pate starts to ask him about accuracy, can you teach it? Okay. And Shannon Dawson had a very interesting response, right, to what he said. Very interesting response, what I thought was great. Okay. Put this on here.
Dove in on Tyler Van Dyke. When you see a guy's accuracy, when you see what you're inheriting, how teachable is accuracy?
You know, that's a really good question because, you know, I think the clarity of mind can get you more accurate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think there's some inaccuracies that lie in two different areas. I'm
so sorry to stop it, but that right there was a mouthful from a coach. The clarity of mind makes you more accurate. When you know what's happening, when you know what's going to happen, when you can anticipate all of the things that could happen, Murphy's Law, right? All of the things that could happen, and you know ways out of it. Accuracy is huge. Because people believe this or not, it's very hard to do two things at once unless you practice it 1,000, 10,000 times. He's going to mention that. Right? You know why we can walk and chew gum? Because we walk every day. We walk every day. That's why you can walk and chew gum. Ask a baby just starting to walk for the first time and try to feed him at the same time and see what happens. His mind is going to focus on the food and not walking. You know what he's going to do? That baby's going to do? Sit down. Feed me. Hasn't started walking every day. Hasn't done it enough. That baby has not walked enough where it's second nature. So when you clear the mind on a football field and the player knows, I don't care if it's quarterback, linebacker, defensive line, safety, wide receiver, running back, I don't care. If he understands clearly what the assignment is, understands that, guess what? I got help from this side, I'm on defense. I got help from that side, right? I understand if I'm a safety, he's funneling the guy to me. I understand that he's out there by himself. If I'm a cornerback, knowing I got safety help. If I'm an offensive lineman, clarity. We just saw it happen. The center and the guard were not clear on what could happen in that play. And what do? Potentially give up a sack. Tyler Van Dyke gets out the pocket, helps us out, push the ball down the field, end up with a field goal. But clarity and understanding is key in football. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. And I love his approach. I love Shannon Dawson's approach to what he's saying. If I can clear it up for him, he's going to be more accurate. Now, some guys are just not accurate, but if you have a guy who has accuracy and you can clear the picture for him, accuracy is never going to be an issue.
I think there's inaccuracies that lie in, hey, this guy's got a flaw in his motion. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know what I can do about that. You know, I don't know if I can get the ball coming out clean, this and that. And I think there's a pocket of inaccuracy that has to do with the quarterback's programming, that when you clear the mind, the accuracy comes because he has a distinct idea of what he wants to do. Now, so I think you can improve accuracy if it's that. If it's the motion deal, I don't know if you can improve it.
So you don't.
Woo, big word, I just said it. If the player if his motion is all jacked up, I don't think I can clear that up. right? I don't know if I can clear that up. I can try and coach him into that. But at this level, once you get into college football, I should be tweaking it. I shouldn't be coaching it. I hope that makes sense. I should be tweaking it, not coaching it. When you tweak something, it's already there. You just got to fine tune it a little bit. And when you got to coach something, that's what we call developmental players. Those are developmental players. Those are guys that you're taking a chance on. Hopefully they pick it up quickly. But the reason you're taking a chance is because they check all the other boxes. Height, size, weight, all of that kind of stuff. Strength, speed. But can I teach them to be a football player? I'm willing to take that chance and give them a $500,000 scholarship. But when you're talking about quarterbacks, you want to see, do they have the correct motion? Do they have the right fundamentals? And I can tweak it to what I want. And that's what I like what he says. He says, I'm not sure if I can fix motion. I can fix clarity, but I can't fix motion. Awesome job right there.
You'd almost rather inherit a guy that maybe from the neck up's a little cloudy. You think you could clear the dust out of there a whole lot quicker than you can clear the dust mechanically. That makes sense. Are you a red zone guy or a red area guy?
All right. Whew, that was awesome. Coach loving that right there. Now, you get an interview and talk to me like that, but I'm going to feel great about this guy. All right. I want to push forward to the next section. He talks about praising players and making players believe in themselves. And I believe that has been a big problem at the University of Miami for some time. Like, I know our fan base is tough, and I get it. But I'm also a firm believer, very firm believer, that you can't tell me that these players that were being recruited time after time after time after time for the University of Miami were killing it in Trash Powell Friday night after Friday night, killing it at St. Thomas or American Heritage or somewhere across this country. That's why they were recruited. They were labeled as a 4 or 5 star. They were big-time players. You look at their highlight tape from high school, they are making plays out the wazoo. And then they get to Miami or any other coach's place, but we're talking Miami, so I'm going to stay with Miami. And you get to Miami and they forget how to play. They can't learn the playbook. I told you, I hate coaches that say that. They can't learn the playbook. You're a sucky teacher. We're talking about players coming out of high school, highly touted. Everybody's recruiting them, not just Miami. Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, whoever. Pick one. They recruit them just as hard. And Miami got the guy to come there. Great. But then there's a disconnect. And what happens is some kids lose a focus because it is so different. And here's one of the biggest things when it comes to kids. I'm going to call them kids. Shout out to the wholesome one. But I'm going to call them kids. I'm a little older. But those young men get there and the environment changes so much. They are so used to being the man. When they get to these Power 5 colleges, they become a man. They're one guy on the depth chart, no big deal. But at their high school, everybody love them. The principal, the teacher, he ain't got to go to class, yada, yada, yada. But when he gets on that campus, it's 4 more dudes they brought in from across the country that can do exactly what they can do or more. And now how does he handle it? And you got to build those guys up. That's part of coaching. E. Brown, shout out. If I was in the pole pit, wigs would be falling off. They call me Preacher Hayes too. Don't get it twisted, E. Brown. Let's talk about this. Let's go through this. He's talking about his time at the previous coaching stops. So let's go through this.
You know, you want to make the layups. And I say that a lot about quarterback play and receiver play is, look, if you're open and the ball is accurate, we got to make it, right? If the receiver's open and it's a 15, 10-yard route, that's a layup, right? We can't be missing those. And so how do you minimize those? I mean, you said jugs machines. I think jugs machines is part of it because I think the sheer amount of balls you catch matter because spaced repetition is how you learn how to do something, right? And how you get better at it. it's the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 rule, right? 10,000 hour rule. I mean, you got to do it over and over again. But I also think you have to be comfortable within your own skin, within the offense, and just have, you know, the mentality of, I believe in me. If nobody.
So before he gets into that, I want to go back and say what I just said. He just talked about it. Judge machines are cool, right? It's a way of catching something over and over, catching the ball is cool. But doing something over and over, and again, he talked about understanding the offense and everything around it is going to make you a better player.
If nobody believes in you, you better believe in you, right? Number one. And I think that drops sometimes equate to people not believing in themselves, having some unsure things in their mind about themselves, or maybe about the route they're running, or about anything. So as coaches, we need to build that confidence in kids that, hey, you are the player that you think you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the player that you can make that play every time. And there was no better example of that than at West Virginia. If you look at Kevin White's junior year to senior year, his junior year was very, very average. His senior year, I mean, he was drafted, second or third overall?
Yeah, hoping against Alabama. He tore him up in Atlanta.
And that game, we preached all summer to that kid that, hey, you're as good as anybody out there. But if you look at his film, his junior year, you'd never saw it.
Right.
But we preached it. We believed in him. We built him up. We loved him. And then he had that game against Alabama, and then he said, man, I am as good as anybody. And so when that starts ticking, and that belief, that seed is planted, and that belief starts growing, then not only do you make the routine plays, but you make the hard plays look routine.
All right, I'm going to get to the routine plays as they talked about, and they talk about them coming up. But again, talking about getting a player, if you see a player, and I'm going to keep bringing up this young man, because it's something about me, it's something about what I see in him, is Bashar Smith. I think that dude could be dynamic for the Miami Hurricanes. Now, I'm not saying he has a lack of belief in himself or anything, but I'm saying that I believe solely that this dude could be dynamic. And I'll get into where I think he fits into this offense clearly, into what he runs in a little bit. But I think he's a guy that we got to make sure we build him up, because he could be big, man. He could be big. Think about Bashar Smith, who at Palmetto, basically the man. He was at running back, wildcat quarterback, wide receiver, doing all this, and they had a stacked team. Leonard Taylor, I know we're talking offense here with Shannon Dawson, but Leonard Taylor is another one. You can't tell me the things that Leonard Taylor did on his high school highlight tape. Why is it not translating to the Hard Rock Stadium? You got to find a way to get into these players' mind. Everybody's not the same. As they say now, the old trigger, the new buzzword is a monolith. Everybody's not the same. As a good coach and a great coach, you know how, you make blanket statements here and there, but you know how to get into your player's mind individually and get the best out of them cats. That's what's huge right there. Next, he's going to start talking about routine play, win ball games. Let me get to the timestamp, Routine plays win ball games. And those routine plays, and I think there's going to be some footage in here too, if I'm not mistaken. But if you could do those things over and over and over and over again, it's going to be huge.
If this keeps popping up, because that is a drive killer.
I say this every day to quarterbacks, receivers, routine plays win games. The highlight plays don't win games.
Right.
Like if you watch 80 clips in a game, there might be 2 highlight plays. Routine plays win games. This play right here is a routine play we're about to watch. This wins games, okay? This is a slant route up top by Kobe. I mean, That play right there, as simple as it might look, right? We got leverage. We're making him guard him. We got space. We're squeezing in. That play right there and catching it and getting forward and gaining 8 yards, that is a routine, tough football play that wins games. Highlight stuff.
And I'm going to show you why that's important. I know you guys can see this down the bottom. Look at this coach right here. I want to pay attention. Look at this coach right here. Watch this. This is important. It's 3rd and 8. Very simple slant play. But watch this coach. See him? He already got his arms up. He's like, come on, guys. These are simple plays. But watch this.
Space, we're squeezing in. That play right there and catching it and getting forward and gaining.
Gets the first on a very simple 3rd and 8.
8 yards. That is a routine, tough football play that wins games. Highlight stuff, that stuff comes naturally. Now, at receiver, a big key is if you play 80 plays, right, in a game, which is a lot, right? If you catch 8 balls, that's a good game.
Right. Really good game.
Right? So what did you do the other 72?
Right.
I had a scout tell me that years ago that, look, we watched those other 72 harder than we watched the 8. And so I tell kids that story because that's stuck in my mind. Like that guy planted that seed in my head years ago. And I tell guys, look, he takes it, like he does it every play, right? And I told him the same thing at the beginning of the spring. I said, I don't care about the plays you make. I care about the plays you're in there when you don't get the ball.
Right.
Like, are you giving the same effort? Are you doing this right here? So he knows right here, this is zone coverage. He knows he's not getting the ball right here. He's holding this guy for the outside receiver. Are you running that route the same as if it was when you were getting the ball, right? Because you're helping your buddy out now. You know what I'm saying?
This is, I mean, these kind of things are things that you live in. Like you live in that world. One of the characteristics here, if we're running this playback for a second, so it's a simple slant. He catches the ball. Ball's placed very well, doesn't have to lean, doesn't have to reach too much to get it. If a normal person could even just achieve getting to this point right here, the toughness to then turn upfield is not something normal people possess, obviously.
No.
Talk to me about how important that is.
Woo, did they say a mouthful? And Josh Pate, I'm going to be honest with you, this dude killing the interview. I have to be very honest. I'm not brown-nosing, but he's killing this interview in a good way, I'm saying. He's asking legitimate questions. He's not just talking. He's talking about having the physical toughness to get vertical on a slant, knowing that it's a cap safety there, knowing that that safety coming to knock your head off your shoulders. Man, these are things I'm talking about. This is why it's important. The more I've watched this interview probably 4 or 5 times, but I'm watching it now and I'm getting more excited about Shannon Dawson. I have to be honest. I'm never give him the full stamp of approval until I start seeing him on the football field coaching for the University of Miami. I just can't do it, right? But what he's saying, God almighty, Coach Hayes loving it. Let's talk.
Well, getting vertical, we have a whole drill set aside for, we call it gain it ground drill, which is the process of catching the ball and getting straight vertical, which is an old Hal Mummy, Mike Leach, air raid, like drill, right? It's crucial. And if you watch people that play in our offense for a while, what really sticks out on tape is how quick they get up the field, right? Because it's stressed hard.
I was interested. So you had some cut-ups from your days at Houston.
All right, I'm going ahead of myself. I forgot I'm live. I should start watching the interview again. So let me go back and do my thug thizzle here. All right, 246 people in the building. I appreciate it. As you're just coming in, we are watching and kind of deconstructing the interview between Josh Pate and the OC for the University of Miami, Shannon Dawson. And kind of had a film session, and I'm kind of just talking about it, pulling back the curtain a little bit, giving it to you maybe from a coach's perspective so you guys can see it instead of just looking at it on the surface, peeling some layers of the onion back. Getting vertical is huge because when you get vertical offensively, you're going to gain ground. You look at a guy like Kobe Smith, Kobe Young, caught the 5-yard slant, but because he got vertical immediately, carries it over the 8-yard mark, which was 3rd and 8, and creates a chain mover. First down. That's what a lot of people have to understand. A lot of people have to understand that. And I love what he's talking about, going vertical. Not vertically throwing the ball, but when you get the ball, get vertical. I'm sorry, coaches. I'm sorry. Get your shoulder pads north and south, and let's ride. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling excited. The cane juice is biting right now. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. I'll give them credit too. Happy Father's Day to those mothers that played a role as well. Have to give them their love, be honest with you. Next, he's going to start talking about a physical offense and what is it taking. This is the part where coach really get in. I really get excited. I'm so excited. I love physical offense. And here is something, if you watch my WREs, which is Watch, React, Evaluate, where I break down players, and I talk about wide receivers and running backs being able to block, they don't put it on their highlight tape. And for God, really, I have no clue why they don't. But blocking is so essential. So, especially in today's game with the quick game, the fast game, the air raid, all of that good stuff. Cats got 10-minute highlights of catching. Bro, we seen you bomb 3 people. I don't need to see you bomb 65 people in a 10-minute highlight. I get it. There's a coach's highlight, and it like a recruiting highlight, and then there's a family reunion highlight. Make 2 of them, doggone it. If you want to put on the 1,000 times you took somebody deep because you playing Po Little Timmy and them boys, then bless you, man. Go do it. But for a coach's highlight, he wants to see all aspects of your game. Blocking, plays without the football. He just talked about that. Now, again, I know it's a highlight, so it's not for everybody. That's why they go back and they look at game film. And game film takes more scholarships than highlight films give scholarships. God dog it, I don't even put that on a shirt. Game film takes more scholarships than highlights give scholarships. Man, if anybody take it, I'm suing. I'm putting that on a shirt right now. Appreciate you, T-Yock Rebel. Game tape takes more scholarships than highlight tapes have given scholarships. What do I mean? Your highlight tape could be awesome. But boy, when I put on that game tape, and he's going to talk about this, we're going to get into what players do when they don't have the ball. They're going to, I think I got a timestamp for this later. But I've always said as a wide receiver, maybe this is why I ain't built for no being a wide receiver, first of all. But if I was built to be a wide receiver, I wouldn't be. I'd go be a corner for one particular reason. Man, I'm running hard as I could be. If you think about high school, probably run about 60 plays. 60, 65 plays. 60 just for math's sake. 60 plays on offense in high school. On a great night, I got 8 catches. So what am I doing for the other 52 plays besides running 40-yard dashes out here? Nah, not Coach Hay. Not me. Think about it. On a great night for a wide, and they're going to talk about it. A great night for a wide receiver is 8 catches. A good night is 6. So what are you doing the other 52, 54 plays? And that's what gets you a scholarship. They talked about it. They're going to break down Tyler Van Dyke on that double slant. He's got to run that the same way as if he's going to get the ball, knowing he's not getting the ball, because double slants usually give it to the number 1 receiver. Game tape has taken more scholarships than highlight tapes have given them. Boy, coach, I done said something. Proud of myself. Anyway, am I here? All right, he's going to talk about physical offense. Let's get into it.
You fit the latter category right here.
Well, I mean, you talk about being physical, and we want to be a physical offense, right? And we're not gonna just depend on these guys to be physical.
Right.
That's not fair, right? These guys, their job description inherently, because people are lined up right over them, they have to be tough. They have to be physical, right? This kind of ties into what I said a while ago about, I think this game he caught 8 or 9 balls, right? This guy I think caught 3 or 4. Who's this over here? I'm trying to see his number. But these guys played 60 snaps probably without the ball. You better do this, because those are the snaps without the ball that I was talking about.
Right.
Those snaps matter more, right? But I also think that you got to have, there's certain guys in your room that ignite toughness.
Right.
And I'll give this guy credit right here. This guy right here is tough. And so he raised the level of toughness in that receiver room. And so I challenge our receivers all the time to be that guy that raises the level of toughness. Because
first of all, I want to say this. Y'all gonna kill me. Not a fan of the leg crossing here. I get it. That's something coaches have been doing lately. The little leg cross deal here. More of a Josh Pate type guy. Just want to say that, put that on the record. Not really understanding this too much. I get this piece. This part, not so much. Anyway, back to it. He talked about toughness, and he talked about guys creating toughness just by who they are. I'm telling you, man, there are dudes, and I'm going to say this about number 7, Xavier Restrepo. I believe he's one of those guys, right? Xavier Restrepo is not going to be the razzle-dazzle, super exciting play guy. In coaching, this is not derogatory. This is actually a thing. He's a journeyman. What do I mean? He's the guy that's coming in with the blue collar and the hard hat doing the hard work. He's going to block. He's going to give you everything he has. Think about it. I was at the spring game. This dude out here diving for passes, bro. Diving for passes in a spring game. You could tear up your doggone rotator cuff. You could jack yourself up. He's giving his everything. So a guy like number 7 is a workhorse type dude. He is a guy that does the dirty work that doesn't create a stat. He doesn't create stats with the things that he does. So you can't go to, what do they call it, PFF, and you can't go to ESPN and pull up the stats that a guy like Xavier Restrepo does. You see catches, you see drops, you see yards, you see yak. And he gonna get a shot in the league. He gonna get a shot in the league just because of that. Because he'll do the dirty work. And loving it. All right, let me go to the next piece here. Almost done here. Hold up. All right, here is going to talk about effort and effort plays and all of this kind of stuff. And that's what's important. He's going to talk about the fact of guys getting vertical and fighting for the ball. And here's where I'm going to bring Bashar Smith back into this picture. Because I believe Bashar Smith can be the same guy number 1 is. I believe Ray Joseph can be the same guy number 1 is. I believe Robbie Washington can be the same guy number 1 is.
better fight. But these are just ways to put the ball in play. Now, look, schematically, it's easy to get people the ball. Now, all the stuff after getting them the ball, effort here, all the other stuff is genetics and recruiting. Ball, easy to get people.
Let me go back. I want to clear the air.
You're going to eventually get beat, but you better fight. But these.
One thing I talked about offensively. Is offenses manipulate defenses through motion and formation. You hear me say that 1,001 times. Watch how quick this guy motions. He's going to motion out and create a quick 3-on-2. This guy's way back here. We ain't worried about him. He's over here knowing the ball is coming out here. But watch how fast he motions.
These are just ways to put the ball in play. Now,
nobody really moved. This dude walked down 1 yard. That little bit of motion creates a mismatch. Right now it's 2-on-2. He walks out here. Now it's 3-on-2. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm becoming a fan. I'm becoming a fan of Shannon Dawson. I wasn't a fan. I didn't have an opinion about the hire. I didn't know Shannon Dawson. And I believe 99.9%, unless you're a football junkie, weren't watching Houston games. Y'all went back and watched it. But I don't know Shannon Dawson. But as I'm looking at this, and I love these kind of interviews, because now we get to see under the hood. We get a chance to see what the engine looks like. And again, he's not going to reveal everything in these. Let's talk about it. Look at the mismatch. 3-on-2.
Schematically, it's easy to get people the ball. Now, all the stuff after getting them the ball, effort here, all the other stuff is genetics and recruiting.
Right.
You know, like I can't take credit for what he's doing with the ball right here. The kid's a special player, right? But I can try to get this guy to get him the ball quicker, understand accuracy, you know, where they can catch it and they can actually make people miss. You know,
Bashar Smith.
Nothing more.
Bashar.
Try to get this.
This is what I'm looking at, a Bashar Smith, the Rays. But the reason I think I'm a little bit more on Bashar Smith, because he has some weight to him. 200-pound kid. Can run. He can pull through those tackles and make you miss. He can pull. See, a 170-pound kid, 165-pound kid. Bro, you got some dudes out here bench pressing Volkswagen engines. 200-pound kid running behind it. He's heavier. He has a shifties. I'm telling you, man. Maybe I'll drink the Kool-Aid and I'm ready to jump off the porch for Bashar Smith. But I think that kid could be dynamic on this team. Yes, George has some wiggle shad, but I'm talking about you have to have some acceleration. I'm not saying he doesn't, but the acceleration piece of 0 to 100 real quick. He like a Shelby Mustang. Like Coach know what he's talking about when it comes to cars. I have no clue.
This guy to get him the ball quicker, understand accuracy, you know, where they can catch it and they can actually make people miss. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than when the ball is all over the place and they don't have a chance to make the next guy miss.
Right. There's a lot to be said sometimes when you give a really, really fast player a chance.
Yeah.
Man, he can make you look like a genius.
Oh, God, Josh Pate, you stop it. And I mean, matter of fact, I'm finna slap Josh Pate just for that. You just got slapped, Josh. A fast player can make you look like a genius. But one thing I'll go back and give Shannon Dawson credit. He said, bro, that's genetics and recruiting. That spin move, that cut back, that go across the field. No, there's no drill for that. There's no drill for that. But guess what I like? What's instilled in that young man. Let's go back. You know what's instilled in this young man? Trying to get vertical.
But I can try to get this guy to get him the ball quicker, understand accuracy.
They got him getting vertical.
You know, where they can catch it and they can actually make people miss. Vertical. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than when the ball is all over the place and they don't have a chance to make the next guy miss.
Right. There's a lot to be said sometimes when you give a really, really fast player a chance.
Yeah.
Man, he can make you look like a genius.
Well, this is the same clip. So this is the same exact play that we ran with the slants. It's man.
Same play with the slants, different look, press coverage. Let's still play it.
Coverage, and they're not blitzing, right? So where do you think the ball is going right here? That guy.
Yeah, I mean, we got it over the top.
You do, but he's running the same route Kobe ran.
Sells the same way.
He sells the same way, takes his time, creates space. the ball is extremely accurate, which is exactly what you saw Tyler doing. Watch Tune in the pocket right here. Rock step, get his feet set. They look very similar. They're a lot more similar than they are different when it comes to their ability to get the ball out and throw it with timing and accuracy, which all we got to do is get guys the ball in space. Like, that's our job at quarterback, is distribute the ball.
Distribute the rock. That's it. Distribute the rock. Have a clear mind, fully understand the offense in and out, understand potential problems in the offense, knowing the weakness. I'm not a comic book dude, but I heard this somewhere. Superman is kryptonite. That's his weakness. So he has to watch out for kryptonite. You know what Spider-Man's weakness is? Anybody know? The back of his neck. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's facts. He'd have been hit by trucks, trains, bullets, everything else. I don't know. He ain't never been shot at in Spider-Man. But anyway. But if he gets hit in the back of his neck, Spider-Man is what? Eliminated. Same thing here. That's what the quarterback has to know. I know all the positives, but how many coaches teach the negatives of the play? See, a lot of times coaches, boss said Mary Jane is Spider-Man, he can't handle it. A lot of coaches will teach you what you should do and what's going to be open. But what happens if it's not open, coach? To me, that's more important than knowing what to do. Is what to do when what to do is not there. Hey, coach, I'm coming up with some Hayesisms today. What's more important than knowing what to do is what to do when what to do is not there. Ooh-wee. Come on now. What's more important than what to do is to know what to do when what to do is not there. Come on, talk to your boy. Talk to me. Hayesisms. Let's make it happen. All right, the last section here. Last section. This is very interesting, and this is something that I believe Tyler Van Dyke, Ja'Cory Brown, Williams, whoever is going to have to learn. I like the fact they talked about Tyler Van Dyke, and they may have talked about the other quarterbacks. And maybe it was on the editing floor, like they cut on. It's cut up off the editing floor, didn't put it in. I don't like the fact they didn't talk about Ja'Cory Brown, because we all know, knock on wood, knocking on wood, quarterbacks can be potentially hurt. Now what, Ja'Cory? Now what, Emory Williams? The reason I say that is because Ja'Cory Brown, I feel, will get some significant playing time this year. Maybe even Emory Williams. I don't know. Jay Gray said the cane juice biting. It's biting right now. $253 people in the building. Appreciate it if you're just jumping in. We're talking about the Josh Pate and Shannon Dawson interview, the offensive coordinator for the University of Miami. Let me get to this last piece. And he's going to talk about toughness. Now, again, this is not a clip from the University of Miami's spring game. This is from his previous stop.
Cutting route on 3rd and 14 right here. And they had a tendency to go cover zero in this situation, and we knew it. Great concept route-wise for this, but you got to have courage. Because Toon knew this guy was free in this particular deal. Watch him stand in there right here. Like right there, there's a free guy running through the B gap. You don't think he knows that? This guy ain't ready yet.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that play right, you see what I'm saying? B gap. You don't think.
Let me clear this up. Let me go back to the beginning of this play. This is about quarterback clarity. Again, I talked about this ad nauseum. Last year, Josh Gaddis' offense, the previous year with Manny Diaz, knowing, I said this, and y'all put a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know. I said this. In order to survive this game, you better know who the free man is at quarterback because you're going to get hit in the mouth. I used to tell my quarterbacks, sometimes you got to lick the barrel. I guess that's a pause moment. What do I mean by that? Somebody going to put the barrel right in your face, and the barrel is the defender that's coming free. And you got to be able to stand in the pocket knowing you're about to get shot in the face. You heard what he just said. You don't think that guy knows that? Yeah, he knows that. But I got to stand in there and deliver this rock. It might be my last play. I may get put out the game with this shot, but I know that. Back to clarity. Knowing where the people come from makes you be more accurate. Knowing where the threat's coming from, that's back to what? What to do when what you're supposed to do breaks down. I forgot what I said. I'm going to go back and write it down. Why? Because the cane drew's biting. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Look at this. All of these guys are coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They actually have 6 blocking. But he still knows this guy's coming free because it's a slide protection. He picks him up. I'm responsible for the late guy coming.
Toon knew this guy was free in this particular deal. Watch him stand in there right here. Like right there, there's a free guy running through the B gap. You don't think he knows that? This guy ain't ready yet.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that play right there shows you what that guy's about. Because ultimately, I can't tell you many guys right here that when that happens, aren't trying to run out the front door or get in the fetal position.
Right.
You know, he hung in there, and he's getting hit as he throws. I mean, that's good stuff. That's quarterback play, in my opinion, like broken down to what makes people rise up and not, like the ability to stand in there and watch that bullet being fired down the chute, and you know it's coming, and not flinching.
Well, Miami offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, it's been a nice education for us today. We sincerely appreciate it and wish you all the luck this fall. You got a few months.
Baby Shaq says, you need to look down the barrel, coach, not lick it. I get it. But when I'm talking to the players, I want them to understand you that close. I can see from a distance. If I got to kiss the barrel, that means it's right in my face. So I want them to understand that. I always say, I guess I say pause after. I don't know. Who cares? All I'm letting you know is at the end of the day, I enjoyed this interview. I saw the interview with Tyler Van Dyke. It was okay. It was cool. Tyler Van Dyke got to come play. That's all I'm going to say. Nah, we ain't headbutting nothing. All I'm saying, at the end of the day, I appreciate that, man. That was interesting. Great, great video right there. Tyler Van Dyke's video, I saw it. I watched it. They playing catch. He got to come play, bro. He has to come play. At the end of the day, TVD, Tyler Van Dyke, Tyler Van Dimes, whatever you want to call him, just don't call me collect. You got to come and make a play. That's all I'm saying. If he's not going to come make a play, well, then guess what? Let's go. Next man up, bro. Next man up. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. That's how I'm looking at it. I think just from what I'm hearing, I believe he has a coach that gets it. He has a coach that understands. He has a coach, I believe, that, again, he talked the talk. Coach Shannon Dawson talked the talk and said all of the right things. He said all of the right things. Now it's time to put it on the field. We talk about air raid. Now here's another question I have to be honest. Let's call a question. We broke down the Mario Cristobal episode. I'm opening the phone lines, guys. Excuse me, you're going to hear some craziness. We broke down the Mario Cristobal thing, and there's always been speculation. I can't say this to be factual. Will Coach Cristobal let his coaches coach? I don't know. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out when we start off with Miami, Ohio. I think it's September 2nd.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
Phone number 862-799-9956. Let me know your thoughts on this. I appreciate everybody that came by, everybody that's hanging out with us today. Happy Father's Day to everybody. And in the meantime, in between time, I want to give a shout out to Alex Tabio from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. Anything you got to do with home financing, please give him a call. All his information is in the description. His phone number is 305-205-1697. Again, rates are looking a little better, okay? But get your stuff in order. Trust me, because things bust, and when it happens, you want to be prepared. I always tell people that. Be prepared. You don't have insurance because you know you're going to have an accident. You have insurance because you think you're going to have an accident. You might have an accident, and you want to be covered. So it's worth the conversation. Free phone call, 305-205-1697. First hometown buyers, VA loans, all of that good stuff. Hit him up. And for all of my entrepreneurs out there, all of my entrepreneurs who are the boss, they don't get a check, they cut checks. You got very aggressive programs for that as well. All right. We got, we loaded up in this deal today. Hold up. I got quite a few. I got 6095 in the building. 6095. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
Coach, it's Steve Kim, your old friend from L.A. What's going on?
Steve Kim in the building. What's up with you, baby?
Oh, Coach, just getting a football education from you, as always. Enjoy your stuff. Yeah, but, Coach, I think you make a great point. Every offense, at least a good one, has routine plays or, like, a set number of plays that they're good at, right?
Uh-huh.
Last year, I was just racking my brain when you're reviewing this. What did we do well last year offensively? Seriously. At all.
Lined up. We didn't get too many penalties for lining up.
Yeah, and by the way, you actually – I got to give Coach credit. This is what a type of football savant you are. We met, I think, in the third quarter of the Bethune-Cookman game. We met, and we hung out a little bit later throughout that weekend. I'm with Coach, I got to give you credit. You flat out told me this ain't going to work. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. We have 70 points against Bethune. He said, nope, don't like this offense. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, Steve, I just see things as a coach. And I was like, really? This is not going to work. You called it like Nostradamus. And I will say this. I think this year there's a plan. It's modern-day football. But before I jump off, I want to say one thing about TVD. and I think you could talk about this better. I thought his body language and his facial expressions were poor last year. He got dispirited. He got disinterested. He didn't like what was going on. But to be fair, I think it was unfair to make him play with that injury. But, Coach, that whole offense last year, the fact that Josh Gaddis said, well, I'm running my third offense this year, I said, oh, my God, and we're 0 for 3. So I think this year with Dawson, we have a plan, we have a foundation, and it can't possibly be worse than last year. So anyway, Coach, I just want to give my salute to you. Doing a great job. I'll keep listening here.
Thanks, Steve. Real quick, man. I know I just saw you. I was watching something. Yeah. You were doing some boxing. I know you do the boxing podcast with Mario Lopez, a.k.a. A.k.a. AC Slater from Saved by the Bell, man. Yeah. Let people know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, it's the 3 knockdown rule, and it is that Mario Lopez for any of you Saved by the Bell fans. We come out with a new show every week. We talk a lot of boxing. You just look up 3 knockdown rule. And we come out, we do that thing, and I make some weekly appearances with Jason Whitlock, you know about that, and also with Coach Jason Brown, who's famous for being the Last Chance U coach. He is certainly a firecracker. I've learned a lot of football from both of you guys. So anyone that wants to talk boxing, stuff like that, and other things, I'm on other platforms. And, of course, with Coach Hayes, you are still the source. I got to find a way to get out to the game last year. But, Coach, I'm just telling you, for your audience, you know your ball like no one else because you're telling some stories. On that Sunday night, we were watching that LSU Florida State game. You were literally calling out plays before they were happening. I was like, wow, these guys really know football at a 3D level. We're just laymen. I'm just an observer. You are a true expert. And hopefully you can tell some of those stories of being on Cristobal's staff. I was just enthralled by that conversation we had last year.
Oh, yeah, man. It was fun, Steve. And, like I said, man, it's just because back to what I said on here, if you do something over and over and over again, your mind is clear, right? It's just like for 25 years I've been doing this. It's nothing new under the sun about football, just like you in boxing, right? You know when a dude is about to throw that right hook or you know what he's setting up. I can't look at it that way because I don't watch enough boxing. You've been doing it for years. So,
Coach, can I tell you something?
Sure.
I've never seen a good boxer, or it's very rare, that's not good fundamentally. Mm-hmm. Most good boxers, if they do not have a good jab and do not understand how to tuck their chin in, they're not going to be good boxers.
That's why they're going to be. You know why?
Changed. It hasn't changed from Ray Robinson to Ray Leonard. It hasn't changed to Floyd Mayweather and beyond.
You want to know why, Steve?
You have to master the fundamentals.
You want to know why? The difference is you don't walk out the ring if you're not fundamentally sound. See, you could be a football player and not be fundamentally sound, and you just lose the game. If you're not fundamentally sound in boxing, bro, you're going to be an amateur for the rest of your life. You never move up the ranks. So you better have a chin, and you better know how to protect yourself, man. Real quick, I want to ask you a legitimate question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
I don't want to ask you a legit question. I know I'm way off topic. I got people in the background. Floyd Mayweather, John Gotti. What happened? What's going on?
You know what happened? I know people that work that event, and we're hoping to have Antonio Tarver, who I've known for years. He called that event, and he had a lot of the footage from backstage when Jocelyn was just wrecking everybody, men and women. That she was on a rampage. Good Lord.
Hey, give us some gloves.
The problem was that too many people had credentials, and everyone had access to the ring. And so obviously once that thing set off and it got dirty, it got very, very heated between the Gotti camp and the Mayweather camp, and then reality stars that had done shows a couple of years prior. They still had beef, I guess. That's where Jocelyn and that girl got into it, because I asked somebody, why was Jocelyn so upset at that other female? And they said, they've been hating each other for years because of some conflict they had on I think it's a network called Zeus. See, Zeus Network was the one that actually distributed that event.
Right.
And I said, Zeus Network, never heard of it. And someone said, Steve, it's basically BET, but even more BET than BET, if you know what I mean. I was like, I get it.
Right, so, because she has a show. Because she has a show, Steve. No, I'm saying, but she has a show on there too.
Right. So I don't, the other thing that I was told by people that were at the event is that there was no security, either whether it was with Gotti or Mayweather. And you know what it is, Coach. You go to a lot of these venues. These people are ushers, but they're not security. Ushers tell you where the seats are. You got to have some real security that kind of like trained to take care of this. And you got to have areas where it's restricted. You can't have that many people close to the ring. You got to have some real structure. You got to be able to tell no to people. That thing got out of hand so quickly. It was like a wildfire, and it literally did not end for another 45 minutes after what we saw inside the ring, because it spilled backstage, as you saw.
Wow. Well, like I said, man, Steve, I'm gonna get with you, and I know you talked about Jason Brown. I'm gonna hit you up after the show because he's had some real interesting stuff with the Gronk thing, the baby Gronk stuff, and I actually like Jason Brown, man. But I like to reach out to him, man, and see if we can do some stuff.
Oh, absolutely! I will get you guys together. He is a spectacular guy. He's funny as hell. If you're ever in California, you got to come out for his barbecue. Coach, one last point I wanted to make that really resonated with me that you talked about mastering the routine. I watch a lot of Michael Jordan. He's one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. And I'm a Laker fan, so obviously I'm partial to Magic, but Michael's the greatest player I've ever seen. And if you watch a lot of a cut-up of his games, one thing that I've learned the last couple of years, even in his 40-point games, 95% of his points are just the routine 18-footer, the pull-up jumper, the curl off the screen, the regular bank shot from the corner, the baseline jumper where he works. It's not that 360-degree double pump hang in the air thing that we all rave over. Really, 95% of what he does is the fact he's absolutely better at the fundamentals than everybody else. So that 20-foot jumper off the screen, he hit it so well, and we all get excited by the slam dunk. He just killed you with that mid-range stuff, and that's exactly the same concept, exactly what you're talking about. Whether it's Michael Jordan or TVD, you got to be good at mastering the fundamental routine play.
That's right.
Or
Tom Brady.
I'll
Tom Brady.
Get you in touch with Coach JB.
Yeah, I got your number. I'll text you right after.
All right, appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, man. We got Steve Kim, man, the man of all social media things, boxing guru and everything else. All right, here we go. I got, hold up. Happy Father's Day to my dog in the building, man. Let me slap this dude just because that's my homeboy. V12, what's up with you, baby?
Hey, what's up, Coach? Let me start off by saying Happy Father's Day to you. They said you got one on the way.
Two of them, boy. Got two on, boy.
Dog, everybody put in the chat, Coach got one on the way.
Hey, oh, skeet. Oh, skeet. Got
on the way. To the window, to the wall. Hey, man, I guess Steve Kim didn't know that that your mama was Cleo the psychic. Call me now. That's how you diagnose all them plays, Coach. Your mom was Cleo the psychic. Call me now.
Call me now.
I'm Cleo the psychic. Call me now.
Yeah. Cleo, my old girl.
In the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't tell you Cleo was your girl, but nah. Hey, listen, bro. The interview what you got going, I saw, and Coach. Here's what I think about. Dawson now. He like remember the old school insurance salesman back in Carolina.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, 12.
Sell your life insurance, and your mama was kind of skeptical, but it sounded real good, and she didn't really know. She told him to come back next week, and she'll talk to him. So, he really he talks a good game. He seems like he's very knowledgeable of the offense. I will say this, though. I agree with him. I think we've been talking about this for a very long time, and I've mentioned this last year, too. The routine plays, and another word for that, I've always said this, is continuity. Mm-hmm. And what continuity does, it helps your offense, it helps your team in the long run. So, for example, Steve asked, what did Miami do very well last year? We didn't do a lot of things very well last year, and we weren't very good on first and second down on last year too on offense. So what the routine play does, it helps put you in a better position moving forward on second and third down. So if you make the routine down and out catch, you're looking at what, 5 yards? You're looking at 2nd and 5. So to his point, yes, I agree with that. If we can make the routine play, I believe that we'll be in a very, very good position moving forward. I like the physical part about what he's talking about. Every team, for the most part, has a receiver that is pretty much that guy. I think it's Kobe for us, a big receiver, a big physical receiver, but not also physically, but also we need that mentally. So like to your point, X is that person as well. He is mentally tough, mentally strong. And so I agree with him. If he could continue to instill that mentality in our receiving room, and still into the receivers, I think we'll be in a better position this year than last year. So, yeah, I see what he's saying, but for me, Coach, you know how I roll. I need to see it, on the field.
I got to see it on the grass. Listen, I got to see it on the gridiron, 12.
Yeah, because everything looks good on paper. He talked a good game, so let's see if he can cash in that insurance policy when the season comes, Coach.
I'm with you. Like I say, here's what I will say. He's shown it with Houston, right? He's shown it. One thing I say, he's got video footage of him showing it, doing it at Houston, right? And guys putting in work. And so, but what I also like, where I think he kind of backs himself up a little bit, is he talks about the mental aspect and getting guys and praising guys and saying you can do these things. I think he's more than an X and O guy. Again, I don't put the cart before the horse, but I do like the way in which it's going, right? It's like buying a car. Everybody else got a Porsche. I'm going to go look at Porsche. I can test drive it. But even test driving it doesn't give you the true feel of what it can do, because the salesman ain't going to let you go out there and gun that thing to 150. You understand? You can drive around the block a couple times, see how it feel. But when you buy it, I want to see that thing do 150.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, we'll see, because I imagine Josh Gaddis had the same kind of interview last year. So, again, we can't fall in love with – these guys are coaches for a reason. They don't get these types of interviews, these type of jobs without having, some experience and without knowing what to say, what buttons to push.
Correct.
So
correct.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I like the direction that he's talking about, because that's what we have lacked that over the past few years. Inconsistency in catching the ball.
What's up? You on that cane juice, boy? You on that cane juice, boy?
The vertical route. Hey, it's Father's Day. The vertical route. So you got to make sure. We got to make sure we do what we're supposed to do.
That boy on that cane juice,
right.
boy. Hey, just do me one thing. Say real quick. That cane juice biting. Just say
that cane juice biting, Coach.
Bro, you know what's so funny? The cane juice been biting all day. I ain't even comb my hair, dog. I look crazy, man.
Listen. The cane juice biting, and you don't even have no kids, man.
Yeah, I got a niece and nephew, man.
No, I know, but I'm saying, see, so on Father's Day, listen, you got to make sure you have one, for the road.
Have one, but you need to put 2 zeros behind that thing.
Yeah, you already know, bro. But no, listen, I'm ready. I can't wait for the season to start. Looking forward to the season, and we may have something special for Florida State, right? So you working on some things for Florida State?
Yeah, we working on it, dog. We working on it. We gonna see, because they got them boys got to see us. Them Seminoles got to see us.
Oh, listen, hey, they already talking trash, so we got to be ready for them boys.
All right,
we'll see how it goes.
Let's do it.
Looking forward to it, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Guess what, man? Listen, let everybody know. Drop down in the chat, because let us know where you registered at, so we can get you Babies R Us, Toys R Us. You registered at Service Merchandise, Radio Shack, wherever you registered at, just let us know.
I'm registered at cashapp.com. I'm registered at cashapp.com. $ Coach Hay Football. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, so just donate the money there. You know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. Donate all the cash, $100 minimum. You know what I'm saying? Because Papa need a brand new shoe, baby new shoe, and all that. We're going to make it happen. Get this dude off my live, man.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, Steve Kim, man, I thought he worked for Boston for a second. Steve Kim, he talking about Johnson and her. I'm like, Steve Kim got all it.
Oh, he big time. Yeah, Steve Kim been around, but he big time. Yeah, he big time.
Hey, the man said it's a network named Zeus. I thought he was talking about somebody off a cartoon or something. I'm like, Zeus, what kind of network is that? Steve got everything, man. So listen, I'm looking forward to it, Coach. Holler at me, bro.
Already. All right, man. Tell them I say what's up. Y'all call in 862-799-9956. That's V12 on the line. He ready. I see the next dude in here. We got my man Shad in the building. He been in the comment section roasting old coach, man. Maybe a roasted coach. Shad, what's up with you, man?
What's up?
What's going on with you? I've been wanting to give you a call anyway, man. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it brief. I'm just sitting back listening to V12 and Steve. But I noticed, I see people, and they were saying this last year, about TVD's body language and stuff. And I was just thinking, I said TVD to some people in the fan base, he already got 3 strikes, from last year, the way he played. Then before the year about the situation, talking about the fans, about the not having a home field advantage, and then the Alabama situation. So my question to you is, Coach, if we come out and he's not looking as sharp as he needs to look, and the Boo Birds come out, do you think that will rattle him and he won't be able to shake it?
Can I be honest? And I'm going to be very honest. I hate when people say, can I be honest? Because it sounds like they're about to tell a lie. But I'm being very honest.
Okay.
If he comes out and gets rattled, the coach in me, I'd rather go out with Ja'Cory Brown, Emory Williams, whatever. He's been here too long to get rattled at this point. You had a great season. You had a season. So you know the difference between the two. If you can't figure it out, then, dog, unfortunately, this is not the position for you. I just call it what it is. I hate to say this, but unfortunately, this is not the position for you. If you come out, and let's say, I believe Miami, Ohio should be some good work, but then we come play Texas A&M. I see other callers in the back. I'm getting ready to come in to you now. And you get the Boo Birds against Texas A&M. And you can't shake that, because I heard in his interview, he talked about that. We were in think about what I didn't like that comment. We played Texas A&M. We felt like we should have won that game, and it carried over to the next week.
Yeah, you don't never want to hear that.
To me, I'm going to say this. I'm going to call it what it is. That's upper management in the football program, that you can't get your players prepared for the following week. Now, we all fall guilty, including myself. I've been through that, right? Played a good, tough team, and then the following week we playing Sisters of the Blind, Poor, or whatever, and we lose it or almost lose it. And we play down to their level. I get it. But at this level, at this stage in the game, bro, you ain't got time to play those games. So if Tyler Van Dyke goes in the dumps because he's in his head, that's back to what Shannon Dawson said. To me, that's the equivalent of your emotion as your quarterback throwing motion. I can't fix that. You can't be that mentally. You could be down, but you can't be in the dumps, if that makes sense. Not at this stage of your career. A freshman, you got to fight through it. Yeah. He doesn't understand that. This dude is a senior now, right?
Yeah, he's a senior.
Yeah.
Red Shirt Junior, but yeah, he's a senior though. Yeah.
He been there 4 years.
He's been in the school for 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my answer to that shit.
All right, then, Coach. That's all I had. I'll probably holler back at you tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I'll give you a call, man. Hey, enjoy Father's Day, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for always. I'm gonna give you a call anyway, just to chop it up with you. But I'll definitely hit you up tomorrow, bro.
All right, then, no problem. All right.
Thank you. All right, we're going to 1669 on the line. I don't know why I didn't put the doggone time on. Coach on that cane juice is biting. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
No, my name's Carl. I'm calling down here from Ocala.
Okay, talk to me, Carl. You a Cane fan?
Well, no, I'm actually a Gators fan, which you probably ain't going to want to hear, but I calling about the Hurricanes. I talked to your realtor there on the TV. He was a very nice man.
Oh, good.
Accidentally called him, and we had a nice conversation about the Hurricanes.
Okay, so talk to me, man. What's up?
Well, I reckon what y'all are doing down there with the Hurricanes is it's a nice thing, and y'all are making some very steady improvements. I believe that you guys are on the forefront of bringing a national championship back to the state of Florida. I believe before probably the Seminoles or even the Gators.
All right. Well, let me ask you this about the Gators real quick. I'm gonna flip the script. I don't know if you saw the video I did yesterday with Austin Simmons, the quarterback, the 2025 guy. I went on there to clear up not the allegations, but the rumor mill about him reclassifying, because everybody's reporting he's going to reclassify. He has reclassified to 2023, but flipped his commitment from Florida to Ole Miss. What's your thoughts on that as a Gator fan?
Well, way things have been going down there with that program, I reckon they're trying to bail ship there. Not really a whole lot to look forward to.
Okay. I love it, man.
With the Gators there.
Well, Carl from Ocala, I go through there all the time, man. I go through Ocala quite a bit. I got a buddy that lives there. There's a shop over there where I buy some things for hunting right off of the turnpike. And so, man, I really enjoy it, man. They sell airboats and other things, if you know what I'm talking about. I forgot the name of the place, but anyway. But, yeah, man.
I reckon I ain't ever been on an airboat, but I did have one more question for you before I get it going here.
Talk to me, Carl. I love it.
I reckon, are you excited about what they call that Arch Manning? I believe it's going to be first year. I don't know if he's going to be starting.
I don't know if he's starting. I think Quinn Ewers is still starting, talking about at Texas. But I will say this. I think Arch Manning can play football. I really believe that. I always thought it was unfair to give him the 1.0, meaning the perfect score on 247 or overall or whatever it was, because I don't believe he is a perfect score. Like, there's very few guys that have perfect scores, like using the word elite. We use the word elite so much it has really diluted what it means. And everything is elite now. And so it's the same thing. So I think you should leave the 1.0s to literally guys who check all the boxes. But I think he will get some significant playing time at Texas because they're going to put some guys to sleep early, and he'll get a chance to go out there and show what he has. But I don't think he'll be the starter unless Quinn Ewers just totally dumps it. But I still think Malik, what's the young man name? Malik from California. I broke his tape down. I can't think of his name, the young man last name. But I think Malik may come before Arch Manning as well.
That's that man that looks like young Patrick Mahomes out there in California, isn't it?
No, Malik has been there already. He's been at Texas already. I forget his name. I can't think of his last name. Malik Murphy. Yes, thank you. 863 Kane. Malik Murphy. Well, I got to run, man. Carl, right. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in. This is your first time calling in. Trust me, I remember that voice.
Wait, can I say one more thing?
All right, Carl. I'm gonna give you one more just because.
Trevor Lawrence and let's go Jacksonville Jaguars, boys. We're doing it for the Super Bowl this year, and you better know that my sweet-haired prince is gonna take us right to the top. All right, then.
Thanks, buddy. Did you just call him the sweet-haired prince? I'm loving it. Carl, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for calling in. All right, we got E. Brown in the building, man. E. Brown, talk to me, man. E. Brown, talk to me, man. That dog, E. Brown. E. Brown. Did I mute him? E. Brown. E. Brown. You awake now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you had me muted there, Coach.
I'm sorry, I did.
I mean,
the Caju's biting.
Not only that, I feel like I need some taters and mustard after listening to Sling Blade there just now. I mean, I don't forgot what the heck I called you for after listening to Sling Blade.
Well, you wait till the end. I'm gonna put you in the background, let the other people go. Go ahead, man.
But I just got to say this. I appreciate the concept. I appreciate the curriculum tonight because you brought it tonight. Okay, you brought it tonight.
Thank you, man.
You didn't give me any scrub talk or nerd talk tonight. You really brought it tonight, and you know my hats off to you on this great Father's Day.
Thank you, man. Happy Father's Day to you, E. Brown. Happy Father's Day to you, brother.
And I just want to say that you covered the smart aspect of what I've been talking about for the last 2 months. just calling in and talking to our Miami Hurricane fans, is that we need to have the coaches aligned with the players and the concept or the things that they have in place to translate onto the field. And if we as fans don't see it, I know someone just a couple of calls ago brought up the fact that there may be some booing at the beginning of the season or whatever. I think that if after the first quarter, the first game, if we're playing in that scrub environment, we're playing scrub football, I'm going to start the boo birds myself, because I'm going to boo the heck out of everybody and just tune them out, okay? Because I'm fed up with these guys. Even though the coach is sitting there in the interview, I mean, with his leg crossed, and listen, you got to understand body language, man. The man had the leg crossed there, and he was talking to the interviewer because he was comfortable with what he's saying. He knew what he was talking about. That's why he had the legs crossed. And you know, that's just body language one-on-one. You got the legs crossed and whatever. He knows what he's talking about.
Sometimes I just want to rent a car.
I'm sorry.
But
no, I'm sorry.
But what I want to say is that, I mean, because you were right on tune with what needs to be said and what needs to be said to our fans and what needs to be said to the football team and to the coaches and so on and so forth. I mean, there's not too much more to say about it. There's not much more to say about it. Body language means a whole lot. Last year we saw that the quarterback, with the body language the quarterback had last year, you know that there was bad communication there. I saw the interview with DVD, TVD, or whatever you want to call the kid here a couple of days ago. I saw the interview. His body language is coming back to what we saw about 2 years ago. Beginning to see a little bit more confidence. He's talking a little bit more.
I love it.
He may have the nerve now to say to another football team, "Listen, we already know what you are, so that's why we're going to beat you." He may be able to get back to that point before they started browbeat the kid for saying stuff like that.
I got you.
He may get back to that point again.
All right. Okay? Well, E. Brown, listen, because I got other callers. I know your plane landed because you don't want to hear this. You don't be wanting to hear that because I'll crash your plane. But I know you'll hang on in the background. But before you go, you know I got to play this for you.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging out the passenger side.
His best friend ride to holler at me. That's you right there,
Absolutely.
Bro. That's you, E. Brown.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let me get to the next callers, man. And if you hold on, I'll come back to you if you want any more callers.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. E. Brown, that's my man. Maybe become one of my favorites, man. Oh, yes, sir. We got my man Warren Kane in the building. Warren Kane, what's up with you, baby?
What's up? Happy Father's Day, my friend.
Happy Father's Day to you, Warren Kane. What's up with you, baby?
Listen, you made a couple of statements on this show and previous day. You said you were a few shows back. I don't know how many shows. You said you wanted to change the WRE to something. No, keep it. And let me ask you a question. Did you find that the kid from yesterday that you interviewed, or did he contact you?
Yeah, they reached out to me, the family. I actually know the family well. I've known them for a while. They're from South Florida, so I do know them. So yeah, they reached out to me and they said they want to do it.
All right. Well, the reason I asked is because he went from Florida to the University of Mississippi. All right, it has nothing to do with Miami, but he went to you because of your show. I'm telling you, in the broadcast, and I'm tickled pink that you got you got that exclusive. I'm sorry that nobody gave you credit because I looked on a bunch of different websites and everybody talked about his transfer, but nobody mentioned that it was on your show. And I think that was I disagree with them not giving credit for it, but don't change it. And you were talking about something earlier in the show. Now I'm so excited about telling you about it. I forgot what it is I wanted to tell you. Don't change your recipe. You got the perfect recipe. Don't change it.
Thanks, man. I won't. I promise you.
I really mean that, buddy. I really mean that. So people are listening, and they have, and you have a way of explaining it and articulating it and disagreeing with this and that and the other, but you highlight the good stuff and the bad stuff. Don't change the recipe. It's going to hit, and it's I know what it was. You were talking about how the kids don't have their, the out of 80 plays, they don't have 72 of them on there that where you're doing when you're not getting the ball.
Right.
You watch over the course of time, it's going to start incorporating that. And, whether they give you credit or not, you can take credit for it when it starts to happen. Because on the highlight tape, or like you said, the coaches tape, you got the one for the family and one for the coaches. It's going to start incorporating that on there. You watch. Just give it a little bit of time because these kids are paying attention and they want it to be seen, and they heard it from you first.
That's right. Well, you're right, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and you know what? I guess the other outlets, they just said that the young man announced that he'll be changing. They didn't want to give credit, but that's okay because guess what? We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep grinding. And what's wrong with giving somebody credit if you source something, right? But they don't want to give Coach credit. Well, guess what? If I want credit, I go get a visa. I need to take my credit. So I'm going to make sure I keep grinding like you said, and they're going to be Coach Hayes football going to be a force to be reckoned with. And guess what? I prepare. I hope they make me their friend instead of their enemy. I always say that because if they're looking in the rear view, I'm standing right behind them.
Well, that's okay. They will always have to. You will always be a force to be reckoned with, whether they, concede and join with you, or they go against you. They will see you as a force to be reckoned with. Just keep the recipe the way that you're going, and keep the passion the way that it is, and it will grow. I'm telling you, my friend. Just like the first time I told you, don't change it. You got the perfect thing that everybody's been needing. And I just want to say thank you. Happy Father's Day. I'm out.
I appreciate you, Warren. Thank you so much, man.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
Now.
Yep. All right, man. Warren, man. Listen, Warren, every time he almost make me cry, man. That cane was biting and he gonna make me cry. Oh, God. This dude right here. Let me just start him off with one to the face just because who he is. Oh, God. Hold on one second. Let me get my stuff ready.
Coach, you ready?
All right, let's find a good book for the day. Hold on. Put my glasses on.
I got a lot of points to hit, and I got to hit them fast.
All right. Whenever you're ready, brother, go ahead.
All right. First, I want to start off with Revelation 3, verse 20. It said, Jesus stands at the door and knocks, and whoever answers, he'll come in and eat. So whoever's out there on the rock, let Jesus in your life, and he will change your life. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is God. Jesus is King. Second point I want to make is first of all, Clemson, Florida State might be coming to the SEC. I really hope Miami comes. It would be and I really hope the SEC moves to 9 games. It will be a sight to see every year. Miami, Florida State. Those two rivalries getting played every year. I'd be really excited about that. But yeah, you have been on my mind a lot lately with your WREs and how talented you are at watching the film and talking about recruiting. I feel like that's the aspect that I think people are trying so hard to turn recruiting into the NFL draft, and no offense to anybody out there, but I haven't found nobody that is able to put the excitement in recruiting like you are. Number RJ Young, I don't know if you know he started out covering. He started out on a step mill. I remember watching him back in 2020, 2019. And then Fox Sports bought his YouTube channel, and now he's on their marketing hub. I really hope somebody comes to you, one of these big networks, ESPN, CBS, somebody comes out there, Fox, somebody comes out there and buys your channel, not buys your channel, but buys your talent so you can really cover recruiting and really have a long channel just covering recruiting, and they really give you the assets you need, because I really feel like somebody putting the back end behind you just with because the WREs are just really fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just put them on the TV and just watch them, and that's really like, I try watching the On 3 and 24/7 recruiting stuff, but it just, I just don't really want to watch it. I don't really care to watch it, but somebody like you getting on there for some reason, it's just really entertaining to watch. So I really hope somebody really comes out and reaches out to you. I don't know if it's now, but soon, within 3 years, because you really are good at doing what you're doing. But just last point, last point and then a point after this. But, yeah, I really hope if Florida State comes to the SEC, I really hope Miami comes behind. and then we can have and the SEC moves to 9 schedules or a 9-game schedule, and we can see those 3 play every year to see who is the champ of Florida every year. I think that would be great for recruiting. If you want to lock down the state, let's lock down the state. The kids will be able to get to go to in-state games and really get to see who is the best in Florida. But Jesus Christ is Lord. He is King. He is God. Amen. Have a blessed Sunday. Much love to you, Coach.
Is he finished? Pretty good book right here, guys. If you haven't read it, go check it out, man. The Code. It's called The Code. Right there by Ross Bernstein. The forward is by Amar Rashad and Jerome Bettis. And the afterword is by Mike Dicker. Good read right here. You should check it out. To be very honest, I just do that to mess with him, man. I actually love, that is the long snapping preacher right there. He is a college student. He plays football. He's a long snapper. He's a big Bama fan, a Laker fan. We used to call him Bama Laker, Laker Bama. But we changed the name to the long snapping preacher. So, excuse me. Anyway, I like to have fun with him. I was actually listening to everything he said, and I do appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, RJ Young, I follow RJ Young for a long time. He doesn't follow me. He blocked me actually on Twitter. But that's okay. I don't know why he blocked me, but he did. He blocked me on Twitter. And I don't know why, but he blocked me. And again, that's good. I guess Fox picked him up, and that's great. I think he was an Oklahoma fan and so forth and whatever. And they picked up his show and whatever the case may be. But to your point, I do appreciate it. Hopefully somebody does. If they don't, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. LMV say, who blocked you? He talk about RJ Young. RJ Young blocked me on Twitter. I don't know why he blocked me. Maybe because I used to tag, because I knew, maybe this is why. And I always said, I'm like Master P. I'm never going to rap about nobody on my records. But I'm not. It's a fact. I mean, it's what it is. I used to tag him because I knew he was a big Oklahoma fan. So when I broke down Oklahoma players on WREs, I would tag him in them. And maybe that's why he blocked me. Not because I said anything, but other than that, I don't know. But anyway, I'm cool with it, bro. Like, trust me. Like, my day is not ruined, But I thought we could stick together, but maybe not. I understand. But anyhow, that's okay. I've been blocked by a couple of people, and that's fine too. No big deal. So anyway, I got a few more minutes. I'm about to get out of here. My man, this dude. One thing I love about E. Brown, he don't give up. He's on it. He is here for the long haul. 862-799-9956. I'll give a few more people a chance to call in prior before I bring E. Brown on. I'll let him finish me out because I'm going to stay on here for a little bit. They say my man Miami Florida team, I guess they're coming on tomorrow because it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody on the show. And again, the phone number, please don't get it misunderstood like Carl did. The phone number that you see that pops up, that is the number to the realtor and the home financing person, which name is Alex Tabio from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. So I know people see the number up there. Maybe I shouldn't put it up there. Maybe I should put information in the description. So maybe I need to change that because he called me. He said, Coach, a couple of people called thinking they calling the show. But anyhow, long story short, that's what it is. But, But anyway, yeah, like I said, happy Father's Day to everybody. Let me know what you got in there. Probably some crazy gifts, some sucky gifts, but it is what it is. All right. I'm going to give you a few more minutes. I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds to eat, Brian. I'm going to let you finish out because you be talking about some doggone scrubs. This guy be talking about scrub talk and nerd talk. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But anyway, had a good talk right there, man. A lot of good people called in. Met Carl for the first time. Where's the Oracle, y'all? I'm missing her. All right, here we go. Well, E. Brown, you gonna finish this thing out with your boy, man. Let me introduce E. Brown. E. Brown is a guy who's been on our channel for little bit of time now. He's on the line right now. He talks about the transfer portal being full of scrubs.
No money, oh no, I don't want no scrub. No scrub, no.
We've already lost the monetization to this video, so hey, no scrubs. It is what it is. E. Brown, talk to me.
Well, listen, I like that the version there. I hope that's not the Oracle singing that version, but see, you read through your comments and you see some of the guys and girls are saying, "Hey, I'm always negative and what have you." Well, listen, you guys have got to come to the point to where you got to go. I'm sick and tired of these coaches and players and the media affiliated with the University of Miami coming out every year and trying to get everybody all in an uproar about the football team. And we go out there, folks, and I say this every freaking week. We go out there and we win 4 and 5 darn football games. Okay? We got to stop. We got to stop it, man. All
right, but hold on. Let me do this, E. Brown. Let me do this. Let's keep on topic of the show with Shannon Dawson. So I get where you're coming from, but let's talk about Shannon Dawson, the interview, right? Let's talk about the outlook, right? I brought up a couple of points. I brought up a point where he's talking about getting guys prepared. He brought up the point where he's talking about I'm putting these words in his mouth, but in essence, being rushed a little bit, not having that real Christmas break to kind of build a rapport with the quarterback room and the offensive coordinators, the offensive players, and all of those different things. What are your thoughts about this whole breakdown? I know how you feel about all of that stuff, but what do you think about Shannon Dawson thus far when it comes to at least what he's saying? I know we got to see what he puts on the field, but at least what he's saying.
I actually like it. Listen, I like the interview. I like the interview. I like the assertiveness. I like the fact that the man seems to know what he's talking about. I like the fact that he's developing. I have the perception that he's developing the players or what have you. But he's taking on the criticism, and he's bringing the criticism towards him in the public. But like you said early in the interview or in the program, you said, I guarantee you that when in the film room, he's actually pointing out those bad habits or those bad things that will create a nightmare for the football team. And again, like I said, I can see it resonating not only with you, but I also saw it with TVD. TVD, he looks totally different, man. The kid looks, like I said, he looks more relaxed. You know why he looks more relaxed? Because he has a teacher this year. He has somebody who's teaching him. He's actually somebody who's actually teaching him how to adjust, what to look for, and so on and so forth. And again, he's looking the part. He's saying what needs to be said, and I'm going to give him credit for that. And you brought out some of those points tonight, and I think I gave you credit for that earlier in the telephone call when I called in before. So I hope that answers your question about that, Coach. But but some of these fans out here, they are still delusional. They're still in la-la land.
I get it.
Still in the scrub environment.
Okay, hold on. I'm not going to let you go there. I'm not going to let you go there. I'm going to bring you back. Shad asked you, what do you think about Kevin Beard, the wide receiver coach, former player for Miami?
Well, listen, because I saw Kevin when he played in high school. I was privy to see Kevin play with the University of Miami, and what have you. Now he's coaching at the University of Miami. I haven't seen his work from a coaching standpoint.
Well, he coached at Miami. He coached at Miami previously. He coached at Miami previously.
Well, he coached in what aspect? Was he a primary receivers coach, or was he just in the background reviewing film?
No,
What was he doing?
No, he was the receiver
What was he
coach.
doing?
He was the receiver coach for the University of Miami under was it Al Golden? Hold up.
Yeah, it was Al Golden.
Yeah.
It was Al Golden.
Yeah, he was receiver
and
coach.
our receiving core on the Al Golden. Hey, listen, our receiving core was not that bad. You know, our receiving core wasn't that bad on the Al Golden. We had some guys who stepped up, and who came out of nowhere, so to speak, and they became prominent enough or good enough on the football field that they were actually unrestricted free agents, and they went on to play some time in the NFL. So if that's the case, then that speaks volumes for Kevin Beard's work. But Kevin Beard, along with Shannon Dawson and some of these other coaches, some of these other head assistant coaches, they have got to get the team to perform up to par to where we're winning more than 5 games a year. Okay? When we go through this year, and if they are winning 7 to 8 games or more, hey, listen, that's pretty good. But man, we need to stay on these guys, man. We need to stay on them, and we need to tell them we need to have that bar raised and have expectations for this football team. Stop sitting back and being satisfied with winning 4 and 5 games and wondering if we're going to beat Middle Tennessee State. Okay, let's stop that. Let's stop that. You guys out there who are online right now, and you're sending out the emails about you're being negative, and we've been in the negative realm or the scrub realm for 25 freaking years. You guys ought to be tired of that stuff. You ought to be sick and tired of it.
Oh,
but none of
God.
you are.
E. Brown. Oh,
none of you guys are. None of you guys are sick and tired of it. To the point where you want to hold these coaches, these football players, this university. You need to hold these people accountable.
I need to start reading the book. I'm gonna start reading the book when you call in. I got John from Polk County. I see John from Polk County in the building. Let me get John from Polk County. I get where you're coming from, E. Brown, but I do appreciate it, man. Thank you, dog. Hey, happy Father's Day to you, man. I know we talk sometime off the L, man. We have a good time, man. We have fun. But I do want to have fun, man. Hey, happy Juneteenth to you also. You know what I mean? I guess Juneteenth is now in the books as an official holiday. Is June 19th here in Texas, man. So, and hey, big shout out to my dog Butch in the building. One of my longtime friends. His birthday is on June 19th, man. So, big shout out to Butch, my dog Butch, out there in the building, man. But all right, let me go in and get with John from Polk County. I'm getting up out of here, man. All right, I get it. E. Brown. All right, John from Polk County, talk to me, man.
How you doing, Coach? Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Real quick before you do that, I forgot to play this for E. Brown. Sorry.
No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging on the passenger side.
E. Brown. E. Brown be hanging out the passenger side of his best friend ride, trying to get Miami Hurricanes to holler at me. That's my man. Anyway, I'm just talking Trey. He's still in the background too. I love E. Brown. I actually do, man. Me and E. Brown, we've had some conversations, man. Cool cat. John, talk to us, man. What's your thoughts about this breakdown here or whatever?
Well, I just came in on the end of it. I haven't been watching nothing. Just sitting here chilling on Father's Day. I want to say happy Father's Day to you, but I see you got an all-star cast. You still got JJ and Michael calling. I heard Billy Ball Thompson calling in. Whatever you say, I don't know what's up with that. But listen, I just think that E. Brown is just one of those guys. It ain't gonna matter. I think he's afraid to root for the team because if he gets and starts saying good things about it, he's afraid they're gonna lose or they're gonna back up. I don't know, but I just call and say happy Father's Day to you. Love your show. Been a while since I called. I'm trying to stay positive. But, he hit some points. He probably hit some points.
Yeah.
I don't agree with a lot of things, but, he hit some points with everything. I ain't got no problem with what he said.
No, I get it. He does have points. You know what I mean? And I understand that he does. Like winning, we at the end of the day, it's like anything else, right? You can have 1,000 stats. This dude carried the ball for 8 yards on every time first carry of the game. Or you can have 1,000,000 stats, but at the end of the day, there's only one stat that matters: the win and loss column. That's it. Nobody cares.
That's
Like
right.
you say, Jordan scored
That's right.
63 and still lost against the Celtics. Great. No big deal. You know what I mean? That might be his personal record, but it's not a world record, right? Just like when you see in track, PBs, personal best or personal record, but that's not the world record. So you won against yourself, but at the end of the day, this is a team event. So I totally understand where E. Brown is coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I totally get it.
Yeah. He's all right. You know, to be, I call the other one Michael. I'm gonna say E. Brown, JJ. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's okay for right now. I'm a ride with him. He seems to be okay, but you know, he got to lose that scroll word, because you know, if he use that scroll word, then he's gonna bring back John the Baptist, and I don't want to call back being John the Baptist. You know what I mean? But
John the Baptist.
You know what I'm saying? I love
Yes,
you, Coach. I love you,
please.
Coach. I love you, Coach. You know, keep doing what you do, man. I mean, you are great. You know, listen, everybody, my family listen to you. My son listen to you now.
Thank
Love
you,
your show,
man.
Coach. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you,
I'll
man.
holler.
All right, man. Well, happy Father's Day to you as well, man. Thank you, John the Baptist. He said, I don't want to be John the Baptist. I know who this is. I got to get his next caller some love. This is my Mexico brother. My Mexico brother, if I'm not mistaken. I just see the number pop up. Caller, talk to us. You're going to be the last one for the night as I go ahead and lock this session.
Happy Father's Day, Coach. Great.
The conference has been locked.
Thank you so much, man. I'm sorry I had to lock the conference out. Talk to us, man.
Man, I just was very happy to hear you speaking about Bashar Smith. I thought that he was a great talent. That, you know, he was, last year was a year that you know, his first year, that this year he was going to ball out. And I had, during spring, I had not heard anything about him, and I hadn't heard anything about Chance Smith also. I knew his dad really well, Willie Smith,
Yeah.
Pop Warner in Jacksonville. And I haven't heard anything about Chance, and I hadn't heard anything much about Bashard. But I did hear you make those comments, and I'm glad to think that you have the same opinion that I do, that he can be a great player.
No, I agree. Like I said, when I broke Bashar Smith video down, his high school video that is, I just saw a guy that really fits today's football. And it's funny you bring that up, and I'm going to bring back up Jason Brown. I was watching this show, and they were talking about potentially getting rid of running backs in football altogether. Him and I forgot his co-host name. But they were talking about, like, the running back is about to become obsolete if it keeps going. But that's another story. So I bring that back up to say, I look at a guy like Bashar Smith, who the fan base, myself, and everybody talked about. He could go back there and play running back. He could be a wide receiver. He can go out there and play in the slot. He can get the right now balls and take them 60, 70, 80 yards because he has the speed to do so. But he has not been showcased, in my opinion, right? Kobe Young, yes. But Kobe Young, I don't think can go and be a running back. What I'm saying, and the reason I go back and say that, even Jacoby George and those guys can't, how do I say this? Their skill sets are limited, but not bad. That's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is Bashar Smith can do so many things, and he can be a guy that you can easily create mismatches with. I can put him in the backfield, and now if he goes out, who covers him? The Mike linebacker. I can put him at the number one receiver. Okay, the corner covers him, but then who now covers Kobe Young in the slot? Do you put a corner on him, a safety? So his presence on the field, whether he gets the ball or not, always creates a mismatch in some form or fashion. And I believe when I look at Houston, I forget number one's name, the receiver they had at Houston. He and Bashar Smith have very similar skill sets, meaning if I put you at the number one, you're going to put your best corner on me. Good. Now I create mismatches for other people. If I put you inside, do you bring the corner inside? Okay. If I put him in the backfield, do you Do you let the Mike linebacker cover him? There's so many mismatches I think that can be created with Bashar Smith. Tank Dell, thank you, Shad. Tank Dell. So yeah, man, to that point, but yeah.
What have you heard about Chan Smith, Coach?
Chase Smith. Yeah, Chase Smith. Well, Chase Smith.
Chase Smith.
He was my Pots player, pop off the screen player, right? I got two so far. I have Chase Smith. Was my first year. Ahmad Moten was my second year. And I think Chase Smith could be dynamic. He just got the injury bug. If he can get beyond the injury bug, he can definitely be a contributor to the team. But unfortunately, as they say,
right,
you can't make the club in the tub. You can't be a contributor if you're hurt. Now, why is he hurt all the time? I don't know. It's, freak accidents. It's a knee here or this there. Prime example, Trevante Citizen. Trevante Citizen comes in. We have not seen him carry the ball once for the Miami Hurricanes in a spring game, a season. He's been hurt. And I'm hearing there's some speculation about him being hurt this season. So who knows? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, in the old days when we had Coach, 2 a day, sometimes 3 a days.
Yeah.
You were not susceptible to the injuries. Now they have 1 a day, and they hit during spring, maybe 10, 12 times. You're in the whole training camp. So how the hell can you? That's where I think the injuries are coming from. You would know better.
I mean, people. I have to say this too. There's 2 reasons why. You did. How do I say this? Yes, you had 2 days and so forth, and I believe that may be a portion of it. But medicine has gotten better. 1, lawsuits have gotten bigger. 2, what does that mean? Back in the day, how many fingers I'm holding up? Dude, be like 2. Who's the president? Ronald Reagan. Yeah, he was the president. Get back in there. But now, with video evidence, lawsuits, these doctors' medical licenses are on the line. They are now on the side of caution. So, with that being said, that it's a lot of guys that played hurt, not injured, hurt or injured, whatever it is. Like they played jacked up, and look at their bodies today. So, as a fan, we appreciated that. But as a fan, are we still donating to, of course, Jim Brown has passed on, but Jim Brown, think about it. He only played 7 years in the league. The dude walking with a cane. You look at O.J. Simpson, he walking with a limp. You look at Earl Campbell, he all beat up. I mean, you look at a lot of these ball players, they are jacked up later on in life. But the selfishness as a fan, wants them to get back in there like a gladiator. But when they're now 45, 50, 60 years old and can't hardly move, that same fan, are you donating? Because the NFL, you have to remember, they only cover them but for so long, and everybody's not a superstar. Everybody don't have long bread. You got guys who played in the league for just 3 years or 4 years and jacked up. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. But I get it, man. I totally get it. So, like I said, with that being said, man.
Is my brother E. Brown still on the line there?
No, he hung up, man. He hung up. You calling from Mexico, right?
Yeah, I am. But he went to the high school where my first cousin was the head football coach there for 20-something years, Al Morrell. He was in the Florida Hall of Fame, won over 300 games. I don't know if you were coaching when he retired about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was coaching 10 years ago, so yeah, definitely. Now, what high school was that?
Clewiston.
Oh, Clewiston. Yeah, Clewiston. Yeah,
down by Belle Glades and Pahokee.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
He
definitely.
was an All-American at Pahokee. Al Morrell.
All right, man.
First cousin.
All right.
D went to school there. E.P. Brown went to school there, and that's where I have a connection with.
All right, man. Well, that's all right. Well, like I said, man, let me go ahead and get up out of here. I want everybody to enjoy their Father's Day. I'm not sure if you're a father or not, but happy Father's Day to you.
I am. I got boys.
All right, man. We're
been
happy.
talking to them. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been talking to them times today. So
All right.
enjoy your Father's Day, Coach, and a great show like always. I'm a big fan of yours, and
Appreciate it.
one of the things that keeps me I love my Canes, and I love your show. I like Flo and you are my favorite shows. So,
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Flo, my man. Ebron said I hung up on him. I ain't hang up on him. I might have slapped him once or twice with the. But Ebron, my man.
Okay,
but anyway,
Coach.
all right. You too, man. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, now. All right, man. Great call right now, all the way from Mexico, man. They call me the international player, right? They call me International Hayes. You understand what I'm saying? Cross the globe right here. Global, right? Making it happen. But anyway, having a good time. I appreciate everybody that came in and hung out with us. Had almost 300 people in the chat today on a great holiday. Juneteenth is tomorrow. So again, enjoy. I'm not sure if you got the day off or not, but if you do, kick back, relax, kick your feet up, have some cane juice like me. You wanna know why? Because it's biting. All right. Tuesday, catch us for the Coach Me Coach podcast. And Thursday, we'll be talking about primetime talk, and we'll be having them WREs jumping in the meantime, in between time. So with all that being said, I appreciate everybody. Hope you enjoyed the content. Thank you so much. And we have fun, man. And Coach Hayes will catch you at the 50-yard line. As always, it's about the you. Holla! Somebody pass me my cane juice.